Welcome back to Open Line. We are talking about the Martha O'Brien Center with President and CEO Marcia Edwards. It really is a pleasure having you here tonight.
Sure, thank you.
To hear about these programs that are so desperately needed in our community. And when I think of Nashville, I think a lot of people think great wealth and star power and so many great things happening.
Sure.
There is a flip side.
Sure.
There is great poverty, as we've discussed. There is great need in this city. Give me a snapshot of where you are. What does it look like at Napier, at Sudicum, at Casey Place?
Yeah. I think I have been at Martha O'Brien for 16 years, and we are headquartered in Casey Place. I think we have about a little less than 1,000 units in Casey, around 900, a little less than that probably in Napier and Sudicum combined. But you're talking about probably some of the most dense neighborhoods in the city. The families that live in these units are families that are either on Families First. We have a very high level number of families that are disabled, and they may still have children, but they're on disability. We have elders. It is housing for the last resort, if you don't have a lot of income. And the income, I think average income in Casey over the last 4 or 5 years has been in the $7,000 range.
And we're talking $7,000 a year.
Yes, that is annual income. There is in Napier Sudicum, that is a neighborhood that actually has some assets that we don't have in Casey. They have a library there. There is a grocery store within walking distance, where Casey is a food desert. We have a gas station and a Family Dollar, and you see families going there all the time to buy food. But both neighborhoods are challenged in a variety of ways. Napier Sudicum has a very low high school graduation rate. So the adults in that community, there's only about 50% of them that have high school diplomas. And so that is a real challenge for employment. And the same thing is true in Casey, but we've had a GED program in Martha O'Brien for 20 years, and so we do have we have families that get a better job because of that GED, and then move up and move out. But I think that when you look at living in Casey, it's really changed in 16 years.
How so? What have you seen?
I think one of the things that I see is that we used to have a lot more crime, especially kind of interpersonal crime, and that has really gone down. That is, I think, to the credit of community policing, but as well as the residents. The residents have become much more engaged in what they want their community to be. And so I think that is a good thing. It's not that we don't have problems there, we still do.
Right.
But it is a community of families, and I think that's what gets missed a lot of times. This is 98% of head of households are females in our neighborhood, and that doesn't mean that there aren't fathers and brothers and uncles and grandfathers around. There is, but they're not on the lease. So, but the reality is that we have historically been a place where there is. If you want to do something that's wrong, there were people to intimidate.
Sure.
And so, but what I see is a real strength of character that's happened in Casey, and an empowerment over what will happen with the Envision Casey process as our community is rebuilt.
Are Sudicum and Napier very much a mirror of that? I know you all really just got there a year ago to set up shop and really get involved in the community. You're celebrating your year, right?
That's right. I think, Napier Sudicum has a different history than Casey does, but I think one of the things that we see very different is we have a lot of elders in Casey. We don't have as many. The average age of head of household is 22 in Napier Sudicum, so a much younger community. But you have some of the very same things. You have, a lot of children, a lot of young children, so elementary age and preschool age children. And I think that what hasn't been there maybe is kind of the employment side. And so that's what we're really focused on. We have after school programs there, we have our tied together parenting classes there, but the employment program that we're doing right now with MDHA, which is called Jobs Plus, it has a incredible opportunity to really transform lives. Because what people don't realize is that if you live in a regular apartment building, when you do better, meaning you've gotten a raise, you've gotten a better job, your rent doesn't go up.
Right.
But it does in public housing, because your rent is tied to your income. And so what Jobs Plus does, and this is a HUD jobs program, and we were very fortunate to get it, they're highly competitive, was it really allows you to improve and get better jobs, get more training, and get more economically stable. Your rent is suppressed at this rate that you began for 5 years. So what does that allow families to do? Well, it allows them to buy a car. And sometimes that car is the key to that better job.
Yeah.
Because it's somewhere where the bus does not go. It also allows families to save. It may allow a family to go to Nashville State and get a certificate in computer access or in some other kind of training that will allow them to earn more.
We have another caller on the line. Let's hop to Brian. Brian, thank you for being with us tonight. What's on your mind?
Oh, sorry. I was eating something and then while I was waiting. Hi, how are you doing?
We are good. We are good. I got to you quick. We surprised you a little bit.
Yeah, listen, I used to live by the airport, and I used to drive down Mercersville Road to Lafayette. And I'm not sure if that was Napier Homes or what that was, but is the Casey Homes the one over there by Edge Hill?
Casey is over by the stadium, sir, by just off of Shelby Avenue.
Well, I'll get to my point. I'm wondering, I moved out of there and I moved out towards the country. I'm right outside of Nashville in the country. Tell me, just hypothetically, why should somebody like me care about what happens in that neighborhood if I moved out in the country? I know the tax base and the support of Nashville is going crazy. They don't even need TIF financing or anything anymore. They got tons of money, and I don't know if they're putting it back into that. I called into Mayor Dean a couple years ago, and they were talking about revamping all those projects and stuff. And I said, how much is going to be federal money? How much is going to be local? And, you know, that's what my point is. How much of this... How much should people invest in this?
Yeah, I think that you know, one of the things people don't realize is that our public housing is very aged. So we don't have air conditioning in Casey Homes.
You think about the past month. I mean, I know it happens every summer, but man, it's been oppressive.
Yeah. So if you can't afford to buy a window air conditioner, you don't have an air conditioning system. So I think that, you know, we are at the end of this housing. And I guess I go to your first question about why should you care, because I think that what we want is we want a strong community, and that means just the whole Nashville community. And that means that kind of basic needs need to be cared for so that people can do what they need to do for their children, be engaged in education, do all of those things. I think that we don't want to be a city where people are living in housing that is 1948. There's no ventilation either in these units. So, and that they were state of the art when they were built. But that's been 70 years ago now. So I think that as a city, we want to, if we are putting disabled families and others, elders in housing who are living on $600 a month, and that's pretty much what disability is, then we want that housing to be adequate. And I would say that some of our housing, though I will say it's, if you drive into Casey Homes, you will see that things are very, very well maintained, but it's very antiquated also.
And I know just from covering stories with children and families in these situations, and you go into these homes and you think, how can these children dream big when they look around and it's so depressing?
I think one of the things that people talk about when they talk about kind of concentrated poverty is that you don't have that opportunity because you don't live in a mixed income community. You don't have that opportunity to say, hey, I need a better job. Where you work? Is there any job opportunities there? You just don't have that flow of ideas and opportunity that you have in a mixed income community. And so I think that what we want to see, what we want to do as part of our organization, particularly for the children, is to see, they need to see the big world, much bigger than Casey Homes, and they need to know it's for them. It's not for somebody else.
Right.
It is for them. And you know, we've done a variety of things. We had a kid years ago that was an incredible artist, and I just was amazed at what this kid could do at 10 years old. And so we took him up to an architectural firm, and he went up on the elevator, which he'd never been on before, and he spent the day with those architects, and it changed his life.
Wow.
He saw where he could be, because all he would draw was mechanical cars, trucks, airplanes. He loved that fine detail, and we knew that this kid's an engineer or he's an architect, one or the other.
Sure.
So it is about showing kids what the world is.
Yes. I
had a young man tell me several years ago that I hadn't seen him for a while, extraordinarily bright kid. And I said, you know, what you been doing? And he said, well, you know, I been working. And I said, I knew that he was the man of the house in his household and had been for a long time, and very, very dedicated to his mother and his 2 siblings. And so I asked him where he was working. He said he was working at Wendy's, and I said, I couldn't think of a Wendy's that was on Gallatin Road or anywhere near Casey. And he goes, oh no. He says, I'm working down in Brentwood. And I said, well, why are you doing that? And he said, because they don't know where South 8th is. The stigma of living in public housing and living on South 8th, you know, he said to me, he goes, you know, I've never been arrested. I've never been arrested. I've never done anything that should cause someone concern, but I can't get a job in this neighborhood. I can't get a job near this neighborhood. And so that stigma attaches to kids who are low income. And what we have to do is show them that this is a very big world with lots of opportunities. And if they work hard and really stay focused on what they want to do with their lives, not what we want them to do, but what they want to do, that we're going to go with them all the way through college.
And that is why we should care. To go back to our caller,
yes,
that is why we should care.
That's right.
Okay. On that note, we're going to take a quick break, but I do know we have David and Jerry on the line, and Jerry wants to share a success story.
Okay.
So I'm
Great.
looking forward to that. Stay with us. More about the Martha O'Brien Center to come.